Yo, what is going on, guys? Today we're back with another awesome tutorial all done in Premiere. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, join the community, posting regular content, a mix of informational and entertaining stuff for you guys. But anyways, we're going to talk a little bit about how to do these bugs flying out of the mouth effect. You can use this a lot. You see people like Cole Bennett, Brother Films doing in music videos, as well as a bunch of other people. You can also use this for other things, such as just any kind of short film, horror film, whatever. It's an effect that I've seen a lot in movies, but it still looks really cool. And it's actually very easy to do. So I encourage you guys to put your own little spin on the effect as well. Try and create something that looks new. I added one of my presets from my preset pack that I'm going to be dropping. I know you guys have been waiting for it, but we have a lot of them coming. I was using that Trippie hue cycle to be able to make that change colors like that. So I just took all the effects off of this, and we have a raw clip right here that we're going to be using so I can show you guys how to do this. So the first thing that I want to tell you guys is before you do anything, some of the best effects come out of good directing. So if you guys really want to take the next step into becoming a better editor, yes, you can add some crazy stuff just by what you're given, but like I said, if you really want stuff to work with, you need to be a good director. Every time I'm directing people or when I'm filming, I either have an idea in my head or I come up with it on the spot of something that I can film and then take in the editor and actually make a really cool effect out of that. So always be thinking creatively, always be trying to direct in the best way possible. So the way we're going to be doing this is a mixture of green screen effects as well as cropping effects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you guys a link down in the description. You guys can go and download this clip. This is actually called Free HD Video Background Locust Swarm Silhouettes. And let me just unhide this layer so you guys can see what it looks like. So it's literally just a green screen clip of just a bunch of bugs flying out. And I actually probably picked like one of the worst clips, I'd say, for what this effect can do. Like, this is kind of low HD and the bugs themselves aren't really that detailed. So if you guys go on YouTube and just look up green screen bugs, green screen swarm, you can go and find your own favorite clips, or you can use this one. You can go and download that clip using like a video download converter you can find off Google. So once you have this clip into Premiere, what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of this green color. It's actually very simple. All we're going to do is we're going to go over here to this little arrow. We're going to click on it, and then we're going to go to effects, and then what we're going to do is look up Ultra key. So just click Ultra, and then it's under here under the keying folder. Just take that effect, drag it onto your green screen clip like this, and then what you're going to do is come up here to this arrow, make sure effect controls is showing with your clips highlighted, with the proper clip highlighted. Then just come down here until you find Ultra key, and then just click the little dropper and click off the green. Very simple. So now if we play this, all we have are just little bugs coming out right here. So now it's just a matter of actually matching it, making it look like it's really coming out of the mouth, and just cropping it so it looks good. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the exact spot where it looks like the bug should be coming out. So right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a little cut right there just to remember. I'm going to find the place where I'm going to find the spot where the bugs start happening. So cut out that little part. We're going to have it start right here, just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the bug layer, and then I'm going to come up here to motion under effect controls, click this little square. I highly recommend using this because it's the easiest way just to drag stuff. You don't have to like change these values. You can just click that square and then just drag this over here, and then you can even scale it down like this, as accurate as possible with what we have here. So we're just going to line it up, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So about right here looks good. We're going to make the middle what's actually coming out of my mouth. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to make a crop. So if I click on this and then I click like the squiggly button on my keyboard right under escape, it's in the top left of your keyboard. You can see what that looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to effects, and then we're going to search for the crop effect. We're going to take that and we're just going to drag that onto our bug layer, and then we're going to go up to effect controls and just slide down until we find crop. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to click on this little pen tool, the free draw Bezier. So what that's going to do is it's actually going to create a mask, which is right here, and we're actually going to draw this mask. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to kind of draw a rough area of what this should look like. So the masking kind of sucks in Premiere. That's why I prefer to use After Effects, but I wanted to make it all in Premiere just because I think it's a lot more useful. I think it's a lot more easy to use, and a lot of beginners start with Premiere, and this is all possible in Premiere, which I like. And the masking really isn't that bad. If you guys are having trouble with the masking, like I said, just do that same thing, make it full screen, and then you can actually mask just like that. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to draw the trajectory of what we really want it to look like now, and it's going to look a lot like this, where it kind of curves out, and then this is making me look a little bad, but bear with me. So we're going to close that. Now we're going to come down here to the effect controls. We're going to click inverted, and we're going to make left 100. So what that did is it actually cropped out everything that isn't inside the circle. So if I uncheck inverted, you see everything in the circle's cut out. We want this to be inverted so that everything except what's in that circle is cropped. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to raise that a little bit and then just kind of adjust a tiny bit. Like I said, if you're working with like this kind of small area, using full screen is kind of like needed. So we're going to start like that. That looks pretty good. And then what I can do is just click off the clip and then make it full screen. And then that's what it looks like. So I'm actually going to adjust that one more time. So if you do want to make an adjustment, just come up here to your effect controls, slide back down, and if you don't know where that mask went, all you have to do is click mask 1. So don't click on crop, click on mask 1, and that's going to bring up the same mask. We're going to open that back up again, and we're going to just make this a little bit smaller so that none of that is kind of bleeding over, and then we're going to see what that looks like. And that looks a lot better. So that actually looks lifelike, like there's bugs coming out of my mouth. And now all we need to do, really need to do is just keyframe so everything goes smoothly. I can account for the motion of the clip. So let me just show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to click on my clip. I'm going to come up here to effect controls again, and then slide down to my clip. I'm going to click on mask. I'm going to click on my mask just to see my mask, and then I'm actually going to keyframe my mask path. So if you just click this right here next to mask path, it says toggle animation. We're going to click on that, and then we're just going to click back on our footage, and then use the left and right arrow keys to move frame by frame. So I'm just going to click the right arrow key a few, and we're going to see where that goes. And then at about right here, I'm going to make this full screen. We're going to adjust this crop, so I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make it look realistic again. I'm going to drag everything back to where it should be. So we're going to make it look like it's actually coming out of here. Like I said, it's a little choppy with the Premiere controls, but if you guys are only using After Effects, it's still very possible to do. If you guys are only using After Effects, this is very possible to do. Just follow the exact same steps, but kind of translate it into what you understand in After Effects. So let's click off and see what that looks like. It's starting to look a lot better. And since this is animated, since I actually created that keyframe, if I just go back, you're going to see that it's going to account for the motion. This is moving. So what that looks like full screen is this so far. So that looks a lot better. We're just going to make a few more adjustments. I'm going to come all the way back here. There's a little spot in the beginning that I think looked a little choppy. Here's what it looks like if I just go frame by frame. It's actually very nice, and that's why we actually drew the trajectory right when we first started out, so that if we were actually changing the crop frame by frame, it would look a lot choppier and things would kind of be bouncing up. So this looks a lot more lifelike and like it's actually coming out. And this crop is actually better than the first one in my opinion. So right about here, we can see that it kind of separates from the mouth a bit. So we're going to actually fix that. We're going to come back in here, and then we're going to make that full screen. And then we're just going to readjust the crop, make it so that it's like that. So pretty easy adjustments, just tiny little adjustments like that. Right here the clip actually ends and it kind of completely separates. So what I could do is I'm just going to cut the clip right here, but if I really wanted to, just for example's sake, if you guys really wanted to add on to this or for your footage, what you really could do is you could duplicate this by holding down Alt. You could drag it up like that, and then what you could do is just reposition this to kind of fill up that empty space. And then you could just make a whole new crop. But like I said, we're just going to cut it wherever it ends. So right about here, we're just going to cut out that empty space that we don't need, as well as the empty space of the bugs. So that looks really cool, and that's just the effect in a nutshell. I'm going to show you guys how I added my glow effect onto there that you saw at the beginning, that trippy hue effect thing, which is actually part of my preset pack, as well as I'm going to show you guys how to make the mouth like getting really big, which is actually very, very easy, that Cole Bennett did in that Love Scars video, that glow effect. So very simple. If you guys have the Sapphire plugins, I talk about them a lot in my videos. You can just take that and then toss that on here. It's like the only real good glow effect that you can really get. So that doesn't do anything yet, but what we're going to do is actually mess with the Lumetri color panels and try and get that cool. So I actually just dropped a video the other day talking about the Lumetri color panels and how you can use these, how you can keyframe these to get the looks you want. Definitely go check that out if you want to do something. This is a good example of how I use it. So I'm going to come over here to my color wheels. I'm going to make these a nice dark blue and bump up the midtones, and then I'm going to drop the shadows. You guys are going to see that that's going to create this cool kind of like neon blue look. Okay, so that looks good. And then one more little micro adjustment I'm going to talk about is if you kind of have like this choppy edge right here. If you guys ever want to get rid of a choppy edge, this is actually a really neat trick. All you need to do is just apply another crop effect, throw that on your footage, come down here, and then you can just make a box. Wherever the edge is, just take that box and kind of put it over the edge like this. So say my edge is right here, and then just make that 100, and then just take this, the mask feather, and you kind of just bump that up. And what you're going to see is it's just going to feather, and it's going to make that smooth kind of blended look. So that looks better than just kind of a rough edge. You can see it's kind of faded here, it's blended better. But that's a really neat trick if you guys are kind of getting that rough edge. And then the last thing we're going to need to do to get that look that I showed you guys in those beginning clips is we're just going to add one of my preset effects. So I'm just going to look up my name. Here's a bunch of them that I've created. I'm still making a few. It should be dropping this weekend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Max Novak Trippie Hue Cycle, really cool effect, put that onto here. And then what that actually does is it just kind of cycles through all the colors. It looks really cool. It looks really neon-y. And then like I said, I could just go in, add more micro adjustments if I didn't want that kind of poking out right there. Just like that. So that looks really cool. It's actually very simple. Like, it's not too long to do. The steps aren't too complicated. So now I'm just going to show you how to do that distortion thing where the mouth gets big, just because I know a lot of you guys would be asking how to do that. So what you do is I'm actually going to apply it to this effect right here. You're going to need After Effects for this, so I'm going to right click and click Replace with After Effects Composition. So I'm going to bring over After Effects just so you guys can see right here, and then just zoom out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is actually very simple. I'm just going to drag to about halfway. I'm going to come up here to Effect, and then go down to Distort, and then go down to Liquify, and then I'm going to click the bulge tool under Liquify. Make sure you're in your effect controls, and then what this does is it actually just grows a certain part of the screen. If I click my bloat tool options, I can actually just make this a tiny bit bigger like that, and then I'm just going to bloat that, maybe even try and make it like that. So that looks kind of cool from the side. I think it looks cooler straight on, like how Cole Bennett did in that Trippie Redd video, but that looks pretty cool. And the last step to do this is we're actually going to keyframe it so it grows into this. So right here under distortion percentage 100%, just click this little keyframe, drag to the very beginning, and this is why we need to keyframe it. It kind of moves away. We're just going to make this 0 and then drag to the end, and we're going to make that 0. So I'm going to click File, Save, and that's going to save it, and then we can go back to Premiere and see what it looks like. Click File, Save, and it looks pretty cool. So it grows to where my mouth is really big, and I like it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, let me know what you guys would like to see next in the comment section down below. I hope you guys are excited for that preset pack. I want to finalize it, get that out for you guys. More information will be on that soon. Follow me on Twitter if you guys want live updates on what I'm working on currently, as well as always being updated on when I'm going to post a video. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you guys later.